Hello everyone, I am the Honest Hierophant, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to get into a interesting topic of what past life lesson or story are you having to make up for or overcome in this lifetime, and we'll get into those details honestly. For this pick a card reading, there are 3 piles. The first pile being the Sacred Kingdoms deck with a piece of blue kyanite underneath it. The zodiacs associated with blue kyanite is Taurus, Aries, and Libra. For pile number 2, we have the Golden Wheel Tarot with a piece of Citrine underneath it. And the zodiacs associated with it are Aries, Gemini, Leo, and Libra. And then for pile number 3, we have the Unicorn Tarot deck with a piece of Chrysocolla underneath it. And the zodiacs associated with it are Taurus, Gemini, and Virgo. Since there is a wide range of different zodiacs associated with the crystals in this video, there might be bits and pieces in other piles that might be meant for you. So feel free to check those out. And just because these zodiacs may not be associated to your big 3 doesn't mean that there isn't any piles for you. It is just extra clarification for anybody that is having a hard time picking their pile. There will also be crystal properties down in the description below if that helps you resonate with a pile as well. But feel free to pick your pile now. The timestamps are down below in the description, and I'll catch you in your pile. Hello, my pile number 1. If you have chosen the Sacred Kingdoms Tarot deck or the piece of blue kyanite, welcome into your section of the video. So glad to have you here. This is an interesting topic that we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be discussing what past life issue, trauma, situation, or even a problem did you have in a past life that you are still currently struggling with now and need to overcome. So very, very interesting. We are going to be not only working with the Sacred Kingdoms Tarot deck, but we're also going to be working with the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck and also the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck. So there's going to be a multiple section part of this video where we're going to be diving into kind of like the past life issues. And then also we're going to be going into a different part where we're going to cover how you can overcome these past life issues to hopefully improve or upgrade your life. So let's go ahead and move this over here. And we're going to figure out what is the main story from your past life that you are struggling with right now. It doesn't even have to be the life before this one. And some of you that are probably watching this video probably don't even believe in past lives, but we're going to try to figure this out whether you do or do not. So hopefully this still interests you regardless. But let's see, what is the main theme of the problem or issue or trauma that you have endured in your past life? Let's see here. This is coming from the Angels and Ancestors. Okay, so we have the High Priestess. This is interesting because High Priestess is also a card in the tarot. So we have High Priestess, harness mystic power. Okay, so that's interesting to pair up here with the blue kyanite because maybe you have some special gifts, some special powers that maybe no one has accepted from you. Maybe there's some powers here that maybe you have been kind of neglected or talked down to, or some issues where maybe you weren't able to really fully harness or believe into your powers because maybe no one else did. Maybe you were showcasing these powers around. I kind of feel like I need to pull another oracle card here. Is there any clarification with the oracles for this High Priestess card? What trauma were they feeling because of this High Priestess? Okay, we have Traveler. Move in a new direction. So this kind of makes sense to me, and I'm actually kind of getting some tingling sensations on my left side, my left face, and my left shoulder. So I don't know exactly if maybe you have these same tendencies or not, but I rarely have like tingling sensations. And it could be that maybe either your past life or maybe one of your ancestors or angels or maybe even spirit guides might be touching my left shoulder right now, because it's kind of going away from my face and it's kind of more onto my shoulder now, where I'm still feeling this tingling sensation. And it could be that maybe your story needs to be heard. Maybe you need to hear this. And what I am truly feeling from these energies here is that you have gifts, you have these special abilities, and you were requested, probably not even requested, you were probably demanded to give away these powers, to let these powers settle down within you and abandon these powers. You were asked to move away into a new direction, into a new portion of your life that you were not fond of, you were not happy. You became a shell of yourself just so you could fit within societies. And I still feel like you are dealing with this issue to this day, that you do not feel like yourself because you have not been able to showcase your true authentic self. Maybe the people around you don't really appreciate the powers that you might have or the abilities, anything of that nature. They don't believe in the things that you believe in, and you want them to accept you for who you are. So without their acceptance, it's hard for you to also accept yourself. Okay, let's get into some tarot here. Let's clarify this High Priestess. What is the major timeline here? What are the feelings behind this person having to deal with these powers and not being able to use them? Is there anything that the cards can tell us here? Man, I feel so bad for you right now. Okay, we have the Page of Wands. And then we have the King of Swords. So I really feel like you have the ability to not really just use them. I feel like you can show these powers. I feel like you have the ability to showcase change in the world, whether it's with your hands or your mind or something, to prove to other people that you have these abilities. You have the knack and the awareness to be able to showcase. Like, there's elemental changes around you that you're able to just put into the world and be like, hey, look, can you see this? But it almost seems like other people are in denial. Like, no, you really didn't like change those lights. You didn't turn the lights off. You actually touched the light switch. That's what you did. But obviously that's a poor example. But it is something along the lines of that, where it's just like, no, realistically, you aren't doing anything that you were setting your mind to. It's just all in your mind. You might even be crazy. They might even be calling you crazy. And you want to vocalize the things that you know. You want to vocalize what you're doing. And you feel really called to expressing it. You are more than willing to express and showcase and want people to accept your powers, because the powers are very useful. It can be very healing. It can be very effective to change the world and how the world sees you and how the world can exist and be. You have the ability to change, but other people are not really willing to see that side of you. They're wanting to neglect you. They're wanting to say, no, you're just crazy. And with that, I will pull some more tarot cards. Why are these people not accepting the expression of pile number one in this past life? Why were they not willing to accept pile number one's powers? We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Emperor. We have the Five of Pentacles. And we have the Two of Swords. I feel like maybe they have never experienced this before. Maybe they weren't ready to experience this before. And I feel like that's kind of like how all spirituality aspects are, is the fact that the right people that move into spirituality are actually ready for their spiritual journey. They're actually ready to come to the spiritual side of things in life. And for some reason, the people that are not meant to will not budge on their beliefs. They will not budge to believing what you believe in spiritually. They will not budge to believing that people can have supernatural gifts or paranormal gifts or whatever you want to call it. They were not ready to believe in that. So with their authority in your life, it almost seems like they just shut you down. They did not want to hear it, for one. They were not ready to hear it. And they put you in a state of confliction. Like, is your powers real? Are you actually your true self? Are you actually existing? Do you actually have powers? Do you actually know who you are? Do you actually believe in who you are? Do you love yourself? They made you ask a lot of questions to yourself that just seemingly shows to me that you were not ready to hear any of this. And it really, really crippled you to a point where you just wanted this acceptance from other people because they changed your mind. They changed your mind in the way that you believed into your powers. They were able to really shut down all the qualities that you have known about yourself. Let's see here. Tell me more about why pile number 1 needed this acceptance from others. I feel like that's a major talking point here. And then we'll get into the Traveler card. Why did pile number 1 need the acceptance from these other people so badly? We had the 8 of Cups. So the reason why you felt the way you did was because maybe in a past life you were given an ultimatum. And I feel like for some of you, like, this 8 of Cups actually came to fruition. Like, these people actually abandoned you. They left you. They didn't want anything to do with you. And I really feel like for you, pile number 1, like, that was the biggest ticket here, is that they were ready to leave you. They were ready to maybe even take you to like a psych ward or take you to a crazy house or something, to where they did not want to deal with any of this in their family or around them, or just the beliefs into this. They were not ready. They were not old enough souls to really understand what spirituality is, the connections of it, and they were ready to just up and leave you. So you felt called and pulled to become this traveler, move into a new direction, so that the outcome of this 8 of Cups did not happen. You're really willing to sacrifice yourself for the people around you. And that's the reason why you decided to abandon your gifts, so that way you weren't abandoned as a person. You needed this comfort. You needed this acceptance around you because you didn't want to be abandoned. You didn't want to be alone, because maybe you didn't even know any other spiritual people around you. All you knew was your friends, your family, the people that made up your life, and they just weren't willing to accept it. All right, let's tap into this Traveler card. Where did they move into a new direction? Tell me about this Traveler card. Let me get some information about this Traveler card. What do I need to know? What does pile number 1 need to know? The Strength. The Empress. Yeah, so this Traveler card, moving into the new direction, moving towards your family, towards your friends, towards the people that made up your life, it gave you this conditioning. It gave you this satisfaction feeling. I almost feel like you were legitimately like such a people person. Like I think that you are like a fire sign, air sign, someone that likes to communicate with a lot of people. You find comfort in family, you find comfort in stability, and you just really wanted that caring and nurturing side of you because maybe deep down inside of you, you didn't have the strength and the courage to stand on your own 2 feet and receive nourishment from yourself or nurturing from yourself. And you needed this from somebody else. You needed this from the people that made up your life, and you're willing to move into the new direction to continue to have this in your life because you could not deal without it. So with this new direction that pile number 1 has in their past life, did they get the nourishment and the satisfaction from their friends, family, and everything like that? Did they receive this? Yes. 5 of Wands. It got better for you. Over time, it got better for you. You were able to receive this. You were able to increase your natural life, even though it may not have been satisfying because you had to bury these gifts from like your actual self. But you did receive what it is that you wanted from other people, even if it came at a cost. How did pile number 1 feel from this change of letting go of their powers? We got the Celestial Weaver, and the Celestial Weaver is talking about the things that make up yourself, the things that weave your whole being together. And then we had the 3 of Swords on top of that. Deep down inside, a lot of your energy that made you up was weak, was vulnerable, was sad, was torn apart. The energies around you pieced you back together, but they weren't exactly the pieces that made you who you are. And you felt very, very miserable. You felt very, very estranged from yourself. I almost feel like you were uncomfortable to act out in any sort of way. Yes, you are a people person, but at the same time, you were also kind of like pulled back a bit. Maybe you didn't talk as much. Maybe you didn't, associate with people as much. Maybe you were in a state of depression, but you didn't let other people see it as well. You were disconnected. Why was pile number 1 not able to overcome this in their past life? And then after this question, we'll move on to the other oracle deck and pull some answers for your current life. Why has pile number 1 not been able to get through this in this past life? We got the 10 of Cups. We got the Tower. We got the Justice. And we got the King of Pentacles. So, I really feel like once you got to a point in this past life for you to really get your life in order, get your life straightened out, get where you wanted to be in society in terms of property, in terms of family, in terms of home life, like everything that you wanted to create in the physical realm, for you to be satisfied, for your family to be satisfied, for everything around you to be satisfied, the time that you were able to come back around, you decided that it's time for you to take initiative. Pull these powers back out. Maybe you had children of your own. Maybe you were ready to showcase your powers to the people that you have created. Maybe they were willing and acceptant to accept this. But by this point, it was a little too late. It was a little too late. You had gotten into your older years. You were not as good as you once was because you had to practice again to get back to those beliefs and that system. And you was ready to tear it all down. You're ready to throw away any sort of fulfillment. And that's what I feel like you did, is you torn away any sort of fulfillment that you had. Maybe even destroyed your connections with your family. What was the end result here from pile number 1 trying to save this in their later years of their past life? What was the result? We got the World in reverse. We got the 8 of Wands. This kind of, I feel like, sprung out of nowhere onto these people. It realistically came out of nowhere. It happened really, really fast. And you didn't get to complete it for one. You're racing against time, maybe racing against old age or disease or even some sort of condition. You're racing against time. It almost seems like the grounds that you were really, really comfortable with in the King of Pentacles energy came tumbling down. You didn't have that anymore. You didn't have that consistency. You didn't have that concrete energy of stability and satisfaction and the dreams being there complete. You tore that apart. You tore yourself away from the enjoyment of family, friends, and I realistically feel that you didn't end your life the way you wanted it to. What was their overall feelings, emotions at the end of their life before they passed? Distressed is what I'm hearing. Very distressed. What was their feelings towards the end of their life? We have the 6 of Cups in reverse as well. You felt very unfulfilled. You did not do what you felt like your duties were in this life, in this past life. You didn't accomplish what you felt like you could whenever you were younger and wanted to and dreamed of. You abandoned the dreams, you abandoned the goals, and you were in very much denial, distress, heartbreak. And I feel like you carried a lot of those energies over with you because the people you cared about the most, they didn't get to enjoy those elements of you that you wanted them to. So let's go ahead and get into the second part of this reading. We're going to tap into this current life, how you're handling this situation now, if it still affects you, how you can overcome it, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get into it because I honestly feel like these are definitely energies that are carried over into this lifetime. Like I don't see how there's any sort of way that you aren't. I feel like Spirit is telling me that this problem was not resolved in this past life, that you were supposed to, but for some reason you didn't. Obviously, we gave clarity to that. And also, you're supposed to do that within this lifetime. You've been given a second chance to overcome that. All right, so let's go ahead and pull some of the Mystical Wisdom Oracle. What is the advice for pile number 1 here for them to overcome this in this lifetime, if they haven't already? For some of you, if you've already came to this conclusion for yourself and you've already figured it out, then great on you. But for the others that have not figured it out and are still carrying that wound, still carrying that heartfelt feeling of feeling like you betrayed yourself or other people have betrayed you and have relapsed into the same pattern, the same story. The card for you is self-reliance. Do not be afraid to fly solo. Wow. I mean, tell me that is not like the truth here. I honestly feel so deeply like, wow, like that is basically what you didn't want to do in the past life, right? You wanted to keep the family and friends and the people that made up your life close to you. You wanted them to feel what you felt, but they didn't. So you were willing to sacrifice your own beliefs, sacrifice your own systems and morals, and just go with them. Just follow in suit. Maybe you've done that a bit here in this life. Let's see if I can pull some tarot. What do we need to know about this self-reliance card? What more information do we need to know? The Empress. Three of Cups. So, with you flying solo, you are able to create your own resources of comfort, your own resources of empathy, your own resources of acceptance. You are the one that sets the significance of what people mean to you. You are the one that makes that significance or determines that significance. If you feel like you need to fly solo to really achieve what it is that you want, then that is definitely a hard choice. But it's definitely a choice that you can make. It's definitely there. It has the capability of existing into your life. You have the ability to find happiness, to find joy in the things that you do, in yourself. You are able to birth what it is that you want out of life. What morals do you have? What dynamics do you have? What do you believe? Your self-belief systems. What exists in this world that you feel called to, and own up to your powers and own up to your resilience. And you can create the family around you. That's your soul family. You can find your soul family. You are the one that gives significance to the people around you. And that is the most important thing for you to know, is that you create that significance. You are the one that determines it. You are able to find everything that you need within yourself, including the answers that you have to any issue or any problem, anything of that nature. So let's go ahead and figure out, is there any sort of advice for pile number one here about how they can overcome this issue and how they can resolve this repeated pattern so that way it don't happen again? We got the King of Cups. We got the Ten of Swords. We got the Two of Cups. The Five of Pentacles. And the Fool. So, obviously you have carried over some energy from your past life of feeling of this Five of Pentacles, feeling abandoned, feeling like you've abandoned yourself, things of that nature. It is for you to really resonate with your feelings, really resonate with your truest, deepest desires of yourself, of what you want out of life, and how you can pursue it, and then cut off anything that does not match with that energy. You've got to walk away from it. You've got to put it at a distance to where it doesn't affect you emotionally, mentally, or anything like that. It does not affect your stability. You do not resonate with other people's emotions. You've got to resonate with your own. You've got to prioritize the connection with yourself, prioritize the connection with your emotions, and do not allow other people's emotions to be prioritized over yours. Theirs do not matter more than what yours matter. And then you'll be able to walk away from that lack of feeling like you abandon yourself, feeling like you have been abandoned. And then you can triumphantly start a new journey into conquering these obstacles, into accepting your gifts and abilities, and really walking into the light and the direction of where you're supposed to go. And you can walk away from this problem from repeating itself. I know it's easier said than done, but you've got to really meditate and resonate with your feelings and who you are, what your soul is speaking to you, and allow that to be prioritized. Put other things that don't allow you to prioritize or feel your own self, put it at a distance. Cut it off. If cutting it off is the better solution, then do it. If putting it at a distance is better, then do it. If creating boundaries and obviously keeping those boundaries strong so that way you can resonate with yourself, then do it. But that is the goal here. Let's figure out one last oracle card here for any last messages from your spirit team, what they want to say to you. Hey, look at that. Good fortune. Invite magic in. If you are able to start this new path and start this new journey, you are on the direction to good fortune. You're on the direction to fulfilling your purpose and feeling your own magic and feeling your own powers. And you'll be able to create what it is that you're looking for. You don't have to rely on what you have been given. You can search for what it is that you are going to get later. You can create it. Your powers can become the tools to create this new fortune, to create what you're looking for. You have been given things in your life, whether it's family, friends, things around you, the situations that you're in, the story that you have, for you to be able to use those as tools or lessons or whatever else you want to call it to guide you into the direction where you're supposed to end up. And that's the direction you need to go, pawn number one. I hope this message reaches to you well. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope to catch you in the next reading. Take care. Hello, my pile number twos. If you have picked the Citrine piece, or if you have picked the Golden Wheel Tarot, welcome into your section of the video. We definitely have an interesting topic at hand right now in this video. We're trying to discover what issues or problems or things that you have faced in your past life that you have carried over into this lifetime that you are still trying to figure out and deal with. For the first section of this video, we're going to be using an oracle deck called Angels and Ancestors to figure out what the problem is that you have faced in the past lifetime and details about it and the kind of like the timeline and things of that nature. And then for the second part of the reading, we'll dive into the Mystical Wisdom Oracle deck to figure out what advice or things that you need to know to try to help your situation at hand. So let's go ahead and move the tarot deck here and get into some oracle cards. What is the main thing or issue that pile number two has dealt with in their past life that has carried over into this lifetime? All right, we have Sage. Be devoted and committed. So you see that this person is someone that seems very elderly, seems very wise, seems like they have given their life to something. And the energy that I am feeling is that you have had issues in the past life where you have stayed strong, you have stayed devoted, you have stayed committed to an end goal of some sort of treasure or timeline that you would like to have achieved. But for some reason, there was a lot of starts and stops. And these issues might be things that you are dealing with in this current timeline as well, where you are having difficulties staying strong and moving along with that commitment. And there's probably a hidden source here, and we'll dive more into the tarot. I'm not really feeling the energy right this second of like what all this is about, But it almost seems like there's definitely a reason for why there's a lot of starts and stops. Could be a mental aspect, could be things around you, things of that nature. But let's go ahead and pull a second oracle card really quick. Is there anything else to note about this devotion and commitment? Why has this been a problem? All right. Okay, we got the Hunter card that says track down your fears and desires. Maybe this has been the issue where you have struggled to find what it is that you desire. And maybe there is fears behind it that cover up the desire. Maybe you've not been able to take on the fears to get through to the other side of what it is you desire. I almost feel like you're very innovative. Pile number 2, you're very creative. You want to start something. You want to maybe even create your own business or take a launch into something. And for some reason, there's fears that block these desires. There's fears that maybe you are asked to overcome that you're not willing to partake in that journey. You're not willing to partake in that lesson because too much stands in the way. Too much stands on the line. So let's see if there is some sort of mental aspect or some sort of problem. What is the emotions behind of reasons why pile number 2 has not been devoted or committed? All right, we got the Emperor card coming out first. And then we have the High Priestess. Interesting. To me, it seems like the reason why is because maybe you are too open or too willing to either A, and this is going to be different for multiple people, but A, your ego, B, a masculine energy in your, timeline, whether it's a father, grandfather, somebody, someone that seems to be overly controlling, or C, just the masculine energy of the fears. You're willing to allow these fears to overcome you and really haunt you. And you're willing to give an ear to that. You're willing to be able to open up to those energies. You're able to, what I feel is be more devoted to those energies than your own. Maybe it's kind of like a scary movie where it's like the energy of the scary movie scares you, and you're willing to hold that within your mind, and then you open yourself up to that in the real world after the scary movie to continue you to be scared. And it almost seems like that's the kind of energy that you absorb, you open yourself up to, and you allow that to be the controlling aspect in your life to keep you away from staying committed to one idea or another, or staying committed to a job. And the reason why maybe you bounce around from job to job to job, it almost seems like that type of energy where you are more devoted to opening up to something else. Okay. Let's go ahead and try to figure out why they are so open to the ruling of this energy. Fears, masculine energies, their ego. Why are they so willing to listen? All right, so we got the Fool. Got the Ace of Pentacles. We got the Knight of Pentacles. And we got the Nine of Cups. Interesting. It almost seems like you are following the idea of a guarantee. You're following the ideas of what keeps you stable. With a pentacle, you have all the different elements involved here. And mostly it's energy. So if you are energetically stable, if you are emotionally stable, if you are financially stable, if you are, is there something else that I'm missing? If you're happy, you're satisfied, then you stay there. You are willing to allow that to be the control of what it is that you do. And then whenever things start losing bits of those elements, then you start to get rocky. You start to be like, whoa, hold on a second. Like I can't go through any sort of pressure. I can't go through any sort of change. I need this stability, or else I feel like I am going to fall off the edge. I feel like this can't be right. So once one of those elements or two of those elements disappear, then you're ready to look for a different place. You're not willing to go through any trials or tribulations or anything like that. You're willing to partake in what is the most comfortable, especially when it deals with your nervous energy or anxieties and the direction. Whether it's the ego or the masculine energy in your life or the fears that's controlling you, they're the ones suggesting you to take on these other opportunities that can give you this stability. And I feel like losing these energies and having to avoid having some of these energies is part of your fears as well. You would rather be living luxurious like the Nine of Cups is, being able to have what you want at your own disposal, versus having a committed, contracted timeline or path in front of you. You'd rather start something new than to create like this path. You're wanting to continue to have the stability, continue to have this satisfaction, and to continue to have all these energies at your disposal. So what kind of fears is holding back pile number 2 here from this commitment? What fears is holding pile number 2 back from this commitment here? We have King of Pentacles. Like I said, that stability of having everything at your disposal. 4 of Cups. The 2 of Swords. 5 of Cups. 4 of Pentacles. 4 Swords. Queen of Pentacles. So we've got a partnership. We've got a Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. You want that ultimate stability. You do not like pressure. You do not like anxieties. You do not like confliction. You do not like what seems to be things that puzzle you. You do not like to try newer things that often. I don't feel like you get a thrill out of trying new things. You're very avoidant. You're very avoidant towards life lessons. You're very avoidant to conflict. You're very avoidant to a lot of energies that a lot of people have to deal with on a daily basis. And I feel like that sums up a lot of your fears. Maybe you have some sort of condition or some sort of thing that amplifies these things. So whenever you come into contact that they are way worse than, just a normal person, I totally get that. But I honestly do feel like you have to get over this at some point. You have to go through this at some point. You have to tackle anything that is an obstacle in your way. And that could even be a set of parents, for that matter. You can tackle this challenge to figure out how to talk to them, how to get them on your side, how to overcome any sort of obstacles with them. That could even be the thing that powers your mind, your ego, your subconscious, tackling that as well, diving deeper into that, overcoming that. I don't know. You're just, for some reason, in the past life and this life, maybe you have gotten control over it within this current life. So maybe this advice part doesn't pertain to you. And if it shows that you have done the right thing, then congratulations. But for some reason, pile number 2, you have been and still kind of are avoidant to a lot of realistic things that happens within your paths and within your journey. You would rather deal without it than to deal with success in something else. So that's really interesting. Let's see. What are pile number 2's emotions towards these fears? Okay. That's interesting. The Magician. Let me think about this for a second. That's not what I was expecting to pull for these emotions towards these fears. Maybe it is the aspect that you were ready to start over instead of facing the fears. It's easier not to feel any sort of emotions because you can create change. You can create a different path to go down. It's almost like you were able to be walking down this path that you're currently on, and when things get hard, you can pretty much conceptualize a new path and add it to the path that you're on and divert yourself from any of these obstacles. You're very capable of doing that, grabbing things out of thin air and just moving on from it. So that's very interesting here. So realistically, you probably don't have any sort of emotions towards it. You just have the ability to walk away from it and create something new. Create something that has that Ace of Pentacles feeling for you. All right. Last question for this section of the video, and then we'll get into the Mystical Wisdom Oracle. I want to know if there's any sort of psychological aspect or any sort of thing mentally here, or any sort of effect for the reason why they are so avoidant towards these life lessons or towards these things that are supposed to help create them into a better person. Why are they so avoidant? The Empress, the Four of Wands, and then we got the Eight of Swords. So maybe it's not necessarily something that you can really see that you're actually doing it. Maybe it's a subconscious thing. Maybe you would rather have this peace and comfort feeling than to have any sort of other feelings. And the Four of Wands is here. I don't know why, but the Four of Wands is sticking out to me as kind of like harmonious type of energy that is easier to just abide towards the harmonious type of energies and just restrict yourself from seeing any sort of other thing. Your main priority is emotions and being energetically satisfied. I don't think that you are necessarily wanting to be ultimately fulfilled as long as your emotions and your energy comes first. As long as those two things are in order here, I think you're totally fine, and you're willing to put on that blindfold or that mask to not look in that direction. So really interesting energies overall. And I do feel like there's a deeper psychological level here. But I honestly almost want to say that you're going to have to be the one to understand that relationship with yourself. There is an intense relationship with yourself psychologically that you are avoidant towards, or that you are not wanting to do inner work or deep work. You're not wanting to look towards the relationship with yourself. That could be a lot of what to do with it is. So if you're denying your inner work, then that obviously is part of the biggest issue, part of the reason why you're avoidant. Maybe you're not wanting to add more to the things that you need to do as inner work. So Pile number 2, maybe the advice is for you to look towards your inner self. All right, let's go ahead and pull out some Mystical Wisdom Oracle cards here. What does pile number 2 need to hear as advice? If this is something that is continuously happening in their present life, carried over from their past life, what is it that they are needing to hear? How can they overcome this? We got 2 cards for you, actually. It says, go with the flow, let things happen, unicorn, invite serendipity. So realistically, I feel like going with the flow obviously is the best advice here, because obviously you don't. You disrupt the flow. You go against the flow. You recreate the flow. Everything changes. And with the unicorn inviting serendipity, I almost feel like the energies here speaking to you is that you do not believe in the divine. You do not believe in connecting with your spiritual team. Maybe you do not feel protected spiritually. And I feel like if you connect with and resonate with those things in your life, that you will be able to overcome any sort of obstacles that are in your way, and you'll be able to take on any sort of commitments, any sort of opportunities, things of that nature, and it'll be very, very easy for you to create this energy of feeling like you can go through anything. All right, so real quick, let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards to clarify this energy here. How can pile number 2 go with the flow easier? How can pile number 2 go with the flow easier? We got the 10 of Cups, and we got the King of Swords. So, you can have so much more success by going with the flow. You can make your life so much more successful, so much more fulfilling, so much more energetically for you. You get to experience life the way life is supposed to be experienced, the right way. You've got to talk yourself into it. You've got to believe it. You've got to see the vision. You've got to be a visionary. You've got to allow yourself to conceptualize the ultimate vision ahead of you to be able to know what you're getting yourself into. And it's so much good energy. You have the ability to attract good energy to you. You have the ability to attract the Ace of Pentacles type of energy of stability and success. You can actually take an idea and run with it. What is the timeline here for pile number 2 when it comes to this? Overcoming this energy. What do they need to hear? What advice do they need to hear? Page of Wands. The High Priestess. 6 of Swords. The Empress. Nine of Pentacles. And then lastly, the Death card. So, I really feel like this energy is speaking a lot about your communications with your spirituality, the communications with the divine, communications with your spiritual team. You have got to let them in. You can't be as closed off as you are. You got to allow yourself, if you even are, for that matter. I'm not going to call out anybody that isn't in this category. But, so for the people that are closed off, you got to be more open. For the people that are open, maybe you've got to be more open. I think that's better well said. You've got to let go of any inner work that you have avoided doing and do it. You've got to do this inner work. You have got to allow yourself to come to a more solid conclusion of who you are and how great you are and how independent you can be. and allow yourself to independently feel your own energy. Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to attract the positive energy. Allow yourself to be more high vibrational, because you have to be high vibrational to be able to hear your spiritual team. Allow yourself to be nurtured by your spiritual team. Be more acceptant to that. Be more acceptant to your intuition and towards the wisdom from your spiritual team. Allow them to guide you. Allow them to guide you in the direction that you feel the most called to, and have trust in that. Have trust in that and allow yourself to be more vibrant, more creative, more energetic. Allow yourself to get to that higher vibrational energy. Allow yourself to be able to create in this world. You can create the things that you want or the things that you need to feel comfortable in the power of your own hands. You don't have to constantly just change and make shift into the right energy. You can create it yourself. You can make this change, and you can have this commitment to anything. You're not going to get lost. You're not going to not find it. So you have the ability to get there, but you just have to let yourself, you have to talk yourself into it. You have to talk to yourself, opening up to the possibilities. Possibilities are endless for you, and it can create so much magic for you. Pile number 2. It's very clear here. I don't think there's much that needs to be said extra. I will pull an extra card for you, even though you did get an extra card on the top. But we're going to pull one last message for you from your spiritual team. Any last advice or guidance or words of affirmation for pile number 2. And the whole deck just went on the floor. But we'll go with this card here. Battle of the Blues. Take steps towards positive change. Allow yourself to grow into the positive aspects of who you are and who you want to be. Allow that to come in, allow that to flow, and you'll be going into the right direction. As long as you're going towards the light, as long as you're going towards the positive direction, then you can't fail. Even if you have to go through darker times to get to that positive light, that's just the matter of the fact. You've got to know the dark to be able to accept and be fulfilled by the light. That's just the nature of the beast. Everybody goes through that, and that's okay. Just accept it, and you'll be all right. I hope this message reaches you well, pile number 2. Thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Hello, my pile number 3s. Whether you have chosen the Unicorn Tarot deck or the Chrysocolla Tumble, welcome into your section of the video. So glad to have you. So glad that you are here. We have an interesting topic at hand in this video where we're talking about what in your past life have you dealt with, whether it's problems, trauma, things of that nature, that has carried over into this lifetime that you have yet to learn, that you need to try to overcome this and stop this pattern. So we have 2 oracle card decks that we're going to be using in this reading. First part of this question, we're going to be trying to figure out your past life issues or traumas or problems. And then for the second part, we're going to do advice about how you can overcome it in this lifetime if you are still facing these issues. And the first oracle deck that I'm using is the Angels and Ancestors oracle deck. So let's go ahead and figure out what issues have you faced in your past life. These issues that you may have faced in your past life were not overcome in your past life, and is the reason why it continues to happen to this day. All right. So we have the Medicine Guardian. Be open to healing suggestions. The more I look at this, the more I'm feeling like maybe there are some issues with healing that you have yet to do. And I think organically, especially dealing with the heart, because there's a lot of green on this card, which represents the heart chakra. But it seems like to me that a lot of people perceive the way to heal their heart is with love, with other people's love. And the energy that I'm feeling, and we'll get more into it with the tarot cards, but the energy that I'm feeling is that you may have neglected any healing opportunities for yourself because you were wanting to replace it with love. You were thinking naturally that the way to heal any issues that you have with your heart space or with any neglect in your life or anything that you need to heal is through love, which, naturally sounds right. But there is other alternatives, and it seems like you weren't open to these healing suggestions or this healing information in the past life, and that was something neglected. What else needs to be noted in this part of the reading for pile number 3? What else do they need to be made aware of about their past life? We got the Magic Guardian. Interesting. The Magic Guardian says on the card, unlock the Magic Guardian. So to me, that represents that maybe there has been an individual, someone to have come into your life to provide you this information, that you have unlocked it. You have not only in this past life, but maybe even in this lifetime, have unlocked a spiritual guide, a spiritual guidance to you of being able to connect to this information and use this information. Let's go ahead and dive into the tarot cards here. Why was pile number 3 not willing or open to hearing out this healing information? Seven of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Okay, what is the Nine of Wands? Usually comes out as like a blockage of some sort, right? What is this blockage? What is this blockage? Five of Pentacles. Okay, Five of Pentacles. Wow. It's an interesting blockage. I mean, obviously we know, like, why. Maybe I need to ask more specifically, like, obviously we know that depression, lack, insecurities, things of that nature can cause you to need to be healed. But why were they blocking themselves from this healing information? Is it just simply put that the Seven of Swords? Three of Cups. Well, not only is there Three of Cups here, there's a fourth one in the Angels and Ancestors deck hand. Interesting. Obviously, I know the Seven of Swords is like, you don't trust anybody, right? You may even be putting a lot of positive energy in front of you. You're thinking, I honestly feel like the thing that you feel the most is that the easiest thing to avoid the dark places, the negativity, all these other energies, is to counteract it, right? Counteract it with positive light and love energies. If you're in a dark room, turn on a bright light, right? I feel like that's your concept. I feel like that's the concept that you trust the most. If you're in a dark room, turn on the light. If you're not feeling loved, replace it with more love. That is your concept here, pile number 3. That is your blockage. That is your ideas. That is your thoughts. Your thought process is that you trust yourself more, is the energy that I'm feeling. I'm having to go more energetically into your reading than I am feeling off the cards. I honestly feel like it's your concepts, it's your thought processes that make you feel like the magic wisdom that you get from your magic guardian is not truth. It's not real. It's not something that you trust because you trust yourself a whole lot more because maybe you've seen it work. But realistically, it is not the truth, and it's the reason why you repeat these same patterns over and over and over again. So what is the timeline here for pile number 3 during this phase in their past life? What do we need to know about this timeline? All right, let's Got the Hierophant, Ten of Wands. Oh, we got some titties on the cards. It's one of the reasons why I should look at the cards before I place them down. But anyways, the Fool and the Six of Cups. So the timeline here is probably this needs to be placed over here. So we got the Ten of Rods, which is the Ten of Wands, right? And you were walking this path, and obviously you've been through a lot of hardships in this past life, a lot of pain, a lot of misery, a lot of avoidance, a lot of neglect, just a lot of trials, tribulations, things of that nature. And the way that you overcame these things is definitely you avoiding it, avoiding the healing, avoiding the pain. With you doing this avoidance, with you not counteracting the lessons with, overcoming it or with completion, you unlocked this magic guardian. You unlocked the Hierophant to come into your life to educate you on how to get through this pain. Maybe even going to a divination reader, like a tarot reader, or maybe someone that was psychic or something. And they told you all these lessons, all these things that you can do to heal yourself, to grow, to overcome this pain. And for some reason, just like you are with your pain, you avoided it. You felt like it was untruth. You felt like it was the Seven of Swords speaking to you. Like this person is speaking gibberish. They're not relaying any information that I find true to resonate with. So, what did you do? You avoided it. You started this new path. You allowed yourself to connect with your inner wisdom that you felt called to, that you always felt was the right thing to do. And this may be something that you were taught by parents or someone growing up, is to be more positive, to feel the love. Maybe there was a lot of childhood drama or childhood pain that has taught you to rely on yourself more and even come up with these concepts at a younger age that maybe isn't true. So you avoided the Hierophant. You decided to go a different direction. You decided to be the Fool. You decided to be the person that can create what it is that they wish to achieve in their life or wish to find in their life. And you just keep creating. You keep wanting to create these band-aids that you put on these wounds that never heal. And you're just completely avoidant. And I feel like the Star is a bit like the Page a little bit. For some reason, I've always felt like this. I feel like the Star is a bit of a card that shows a bit of innocence, a bit of lack of wisdom, I guess you could say. And it's not that they're dumb. It's just that they've not experienced enough in life for them to really resonate with their own wisdom versus someone else that has been through a lot more. So I feel like this magic guardian is somebody that has come into your life to help you grow and change the aspects that you are having difficulties with understanding, and you avoided them. All right. So let's try to figure out who this magic guardian is. Who is this magic guardian? I'm already feeling the energy of somebody that is just like a very spiritual person. Someone that is well balanced, someone that has harmony, someone that understands emotions inside and out. Someone that has a great deal of love and compassion with the lover. Someone that has a good balance in relationship with themselves. Someone that really understands when positive things happen, when negative things happen. They know when energetically things happen within themselves, so that way they can make a change, so that way they can understand. So they've got a lot of wisdom. They're very spiritual. They're very intelligent. They definitely know what they're saying to you, and they're the perfect person to hear from. They're the perfect person to educate you on this path. Let's see. What does pile number 3 need to accept from this magic guardian? 4 of Cups. You need to accept the cup of wisdom, the cup of healing, the 10 of Cups, the positive messages, the positive affirmations, the Page of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. They need to accept the flashlight or the torch or whatever you want to call it, that they are shining on the problems that you cannot see. They've got wisdom for you. They got information for you. They got not only the reason why you're going through the issue that you're going through, but they also have the solution. They have the cure. If you, let's just say, for example, and this is probably too much, but I'm just going to say it anyways because I feel called to say it. Let's just say, for example, if this person, or if you have cancer, okay, and we already know that there's no believed cure for cancer at the moment, that you have cancer and you've always been informed that there is no cure, that you can pretty much, try to get it in remission, but it could possibly still come back. There's no inevitable cure to it. And this person comes along and says, hey, actually, I do have a cure for it. And I can tell you the reason why you have it. I can tell you the cure for it. And you're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. I've already been told by numerous doctors that there is no cure and that I should do this. I should still take these treatments. I should do all this work to try to get in remission. And it's just like that. Like, you avoid taking on that cure. This person has the cure for the problems that you have. And they are just here temporarily. They're just here in your life to get you to a point where you are able to overcome the state here. And I really want to dive a deeper look into the Six of Cups energy here. The Six of Cups came up, and I really want to know what this trauma is more about. So what is this trauma that this person has gone through here? Queen of Pentacles. Okay. What has this Queen of Pentacles done to pile number 3? What has pile number 3 been done by this Queen of Pentacles? We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. We have the Hanged Man. And we have the Four of Pentacles. And we have the Two of Pentacles. So this Queen of Pentacles could definitely be a motherly figure. It could definitely be an energy of someone that maybe in a relationship with. But I feel like the Queen of Pentacles was not the Queen of Cups to you. They were very firm. They had their purpose. They gave you things that you needed to survive, but they were missing that one key element, that Queen of Cups energy. They're missing the ability to show emotion, to nurture you, to give you that side of yourself that you wanted, potentially even love. They did not give you the true, authentic love that you felt like you deserved. And there was definitely signs of this person that gave you the idea that they could come around to that point. It's almost like they kept you in limbo. It's almost like you were told, like, hey, yeah, like, I'm going to make these changes. And then, like, the next week, they're like, no, I'm just kidding. Actually, I decided against it. It's not happening. And then, like, you just kept going through these continuous battles of not understanding. And I felt like this was kind of like in your face type of energy too, to where, like, you really had to see this. You really had to have this represented to you in your face, all up in your grill. Like, they wanted you to see this energy, and you saw it for a very long time. And obviously you kept the important things close to you. You kept your identity, you've kept your integrity, but it's almost like it's supposed to teach you something, teach you a lesson, teach you how to make choices, teach you how to be more decisive and grow you as a person. This person definitely kept you attached because they had everything that you needed except for what it is that you needed. Truly. Like, your soul truly needed this. So, yeah, a lot of interesting energy here. Let's go ahead and collect these cards. And we'll pull out the Mystical Wisdom deck here. All right, let's pull out some cards here. What is the advice for pile number 3? If they are still continuously living this pattern, if they're still trying to find a reason to open up to this magical person that has all these answers. And if you're not going through this anymore, you've overcome this. Maybe this can be verification of if you did it right, or if this is the part of the reading why, or part of the reason for you to stop watching the reason. Hello, can I speak? If if this is part of the video that you do not want to watch because you already know, and I totally understand. Thank you so much for being here. But let's see here. What is the advice here for pile number 3? Creative wonderment. Follow your passion. Follow your passion. If your passion is your heart, then maybe it's asking you to follow your heart space. Maybe it's asking you to follow what your heart wants. If your heart is looking for something and it still has not gotten it from your own advice, then maybe following your heart to this potential is better for you. What clarification do we need for this card here for pile number 3? We have 3 of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, which is also another passion card. Yeah, it's basically like repeating itself. Follow your passion. Your passion has led you to this point of the spiritual person. That's what I'm feeling. Your passion has led you to this point of the spiritual person, and it's time for you to use this passion that you have to open you up to this communication towards this cooperative action and work with this person. Allow this person in. Why should pile number 3 allow this person in? What is the timeline here with working with this person? Six of Pentacles. 9 of Swords. 2 of Wands. The 6 of Swords. 4 of Pentacles. And lastly, the King of Wands. So, not only is this person trustworthy, this person has your best interests for you, but it can overcome a lot of these deeper anxiety levels. It can conquer a lot of these deeper things that you don't really understand why it happens to you. Maybe you have nightmares or dreams or things that you can't really understand, that this person is able to help you understand. They are someone that you've been guided to, someone that you can look to as a more of like a human-like spirit guide in a sort. And the crazy thing about it all is they're a lot like you. They've had a very similar spiritual journey as you. They totally understand it. They totally know how to treat the situation. They know how to keep you protected. They know how to keep you as the director of your life. They keep you in a balance of making you feel like you have control over the situation, that you can come to your own conclusions, that you can come and fight your own battles, and that you're not necessarily being directed to doing such, but you can get like the ammo, the equipment, you can get the tools and the advice and the necessities for you to be able to take on these challenges yourself. And you can keep that pride within yourself as being like self-fulfilled in a way. This person is not going to take away your achievements from you. You get to keep all that you have to yourself, but they just have your best interest involved. They're very trustworthy. They want you to keep your energy and give you extra energy to use, or show you how to use your energy to move forward. Yeah. they're very trustworthy, and you should totally be willing to open up to them and be open to learning. Be open to learning new ideas. They don't want to cause any harm to you. They only want to see you succeed. They only want you to be triumphant. They want you to have control and be the director of your life. Let's see here. What last advice does pile number 3 need to hear from Spirit? What last advice does pile number 3 need to hear from Spirit? I'm going to pull an oracle card for you. Yeah, your passion, whatever your passion is, has led you to this person. All right. Dreams is the card. Believe in your dreams is the card here for you, where your dreams are not just fiction. They're not just dreams. I feel like, obviously with the 9 of Swords here, is that maybe you could be a very powerful dreamer. Maybe you could be someone that sees these things, but it's how you resonate with yourself. I feel like for a lot of you, these dreams are more so not for things to come to reality, but for you to really sit with yourself. It's like some people can't sit with themselves long enough to meditate. So the way that they get their information is through their dreams, because they were asleep. They're knocked out. They're not moving. Their energy is slower, and your mind is more aware when you sleep. Your mind is more active when you sleep, which is, it don't seem like that's the right thing, but it's true. Google it. Your mind is more active when you sleep. Your mind is more aware. So, or it's used more, I should say. So, maybe within your dreams, you are more aware of your deeper psychological elements of yourself that you are avoidant to being able to deal with. And I feel like you should not turn these dreams down to just fiction. You should dive deeper with this person that you trust of what these dreams are speaking to you for. And it'll be a great bonding experience for you, because maybe this is an eye-opening for you to not shut down these dreams as just fiction, and that'll make you probably really, really happy to hear. So hopefully this information is received well by you, pile number 3. I hope you are able to get something out of this. Thank you so much for being here. I greatly appreciate every single last one of you. I hope to catch you in the next reading. Take care.